You are now listening to the voice of horror.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Make sure the kids are safe at home, cause you're headed to the night watch zone.
Guys, in the chat, we're here to talk about Seed of Chucky from 2004. And we did a really fun watch party for it the other night with the channel members and also with the Patreon members, which was a blast. You guys rock. Just to say a blanket hello to everyone while we get... What was that?
No, I agree. It was a fun time.
Okay.
And they do rock.
It was.
Yeah.
Val, thank you for reminding people to hit the like button. It really helps us out. But a blanket hello to everyone. And just to say also hi, Dan, what's going on? Saying this freaking movie. It's funny. Jason, what's going on? Good to see you as well. Mayan's in the chat. What's going on, Mayan? Steve is in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you too, buddy. Let's see. Nanette, what's going on, Nanette? Nanette was there watching this crazy movie with us.
Yeah, she was.
That was funny. Yeah. Hey, Chuck, what's going on? Good to see you too. Let's see. Sam's in the chat saying, hey, guys, I'm new. Welcome.
All right, that's cool.
It's nice to meet you guys. Well, we're not doing the watch party for Seed of Chucky. We actually did that on Saturday, but we're actually gonna be talking about it tonight. But welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Absence in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you too. And Eric's in the chat. The quality of StreamYard has something to do with the quality of tonight's movie. Maybe, man. It was absolutely crazy. Okay. Coriander, let's start on this thing.
Okay.
This movie, and you've seen this. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You can hear me, right?
I can. Can you hear
I keep
me?
hearing something when you talk. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I can hear you, but every time you talk, I hear something kind of coming in the background, like a static or something. But
right. Well, let me get my earbuds.
But what did you think of this? What did you think of this movie? You've seen it a few times. What are your opening thoughts on it?
I mean, this is a franchise where it's okay to get into the silliness and the comedy. With Freddy, no. But with Chucky, yes. It just works with a doll, and it just works. And yeah, this is probably, I guess you could say, one of my guilty pleasures, because it's funny, and it's, you've never seen Chucky in a fatherly role, so that was interesting to see.
Yeah, that was definitely, this movie definitely leans even more into the comedy, and it either works or it doesn't work based upon that. Like, in other words, if you appreciate that comedy, then you're gonna enjoy the movie, pretty much like how Bride of Chucky was. But if you're not a fan of that comedy, then everything falls apart. I mean, it starts off, you have no idea what's going on. We see this family opening up this present. It's a doll, and you don't know if it's Chucky or not. And he's literally, or it is killing the family. And then you come to find out that it's a nightmare by Glenda, the child of Chucky and Tiffany. And every time, he was on
Glenn
screen,
and
Glenn
Glenda.
and Glenda.
Yeah.
Right. But everybody was on screen. I don't know, man. It did make me laugh, man. It was really, really crazy. But the story is wild, because if you're trying to follow this by the timeline, it's kind of hokey, because this is 6 years after the events of Bride of Chucky. And so, he's obviously grown up a little bit, and he's in friggin' where is he at? England? basically
Ah,
like a circus
somewhere.
freak
Yeah,
type of
I
thing.
don't even know.
Yeah,
He was like
yeah,
a
it's crazy.
this dude was like a ventriloquist on the road, and
Yeah.
he was like the best one. I think he was like right in a competition.
Yeah, it was some type of competition. That's right. You're
Yeah.
right. So like it starts off and it's really really crazy. The bottom line is everyone's wondering, okay, well, what's up with Chucky or Chucky and Tiffany? And it opens up then on Chucky where we're back in the graveyard, and this is where we left off on Bride of Chucky. So I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, how is he able to do anything? And of course, that's kind of the whole joke. Him and Tiffany killed this Santa Claus. Wait a minute, how Tiffany's not burnt? What happened? And we come to find out that it's the set of a movie
Mhm.
where they basically recreated the bodies of Chucky and Tiffany. And
Yeah.
the name of the movie is Chucky Goes Psycho, which was originally the idea that they were going to go with for this I think it was a couple days after uh, the release of Bride of Chucky that this was actually the path that they were going to go with for the movie. It's basically more of a straight up type of slasher. And Don Mancini, he wrote the script, and I guess it's not what they wanted, and that's when they kind of leaned into all of this. But anyways, that's another story. But we got Jennifer Tilly, who's actually Jennifer Tilly in the movie, which was I think it was kind of interesting way to bring her back into it. What did you think of that angle? Because it definitely gets meta that way.
It does, but I enjoy it. Especially when um the doll, like, Tiffany, right? Isn't that what?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, anyway, when she first sees Jennifer, right, she's like, oh, she's in such awe, and you can see that, she's like, yeah, she wants to be this lady.
right,
And
right.
it's just funny to see what they put her through. And yeah, it's
That's right,
interesting to see that Glenn and Glenda, because right now, he doesn't have a name, or it doesn't have a name, because what sex is it? No one really knows. So
right. Yeah,
anyway, it's cool to see that he has the amulet, which proves that, okay, this is their kid, because how else
right,
would he have this amulet? But
right,
yeah,
right.
it's I'll stop talking.
Nanette says that she loves this movie. All right, that is
Yeah.
very, very cool. Eric saying, I saw this in theaters. It took a while, but it started to grow on me. Granted, mild grows too, but it's not as bad as the first time I saw it. I prefer Bride um, of When Child's Play went the comedy route over When Child's Play went the comedy route. Yeah, I can understand that because you kind of took a left turn, with Bride of Chucky, and I really did enjoy Bride of Chucky, and obviously we'll talk more about what we thought of Seed, but it's just definitely different. They really leaned heavy into the comedy, and you've got Jennifer Tilly. She's an act, she's playing herself, and so she's trying to get roles, and then you've got the scene with Redman, and he's a director, and she's going for the part and all that type of stuff. So it's like these multiple things going on, and we haven't even gotten to the part where Chucky and Tiffany were resurrected, which is this scene right here. And it's just so funny because this amulet really made a big difference in these movies, man, when they introduced it.
Hmm.
Because now you could just resurrect Chucky anytime, anywhere, anyhow.
And
But it was
Tiffany, right?
and
Because that
Tiffany
happened
too.
at the same time. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And so they come back, but it was a funny scene because as soon as they come back and they look up at
Hmm.
Glenda and Chucky, Brad Dourif was funny in this movie. Chucky goes,
Right.
ah, because he was so scared of him, man. And so, again, it was some funny moments. It definitely had some moments to make me laugh out loud, but they don't know that that's their child yet, and it was so funny because they were cracking jokes, and it was funny to me. But then obviously
Yeah.
they look at this whole thing with the made in Japan little
Yes.
brand
Yeah,
on
as a sign.
Glenda. Yeah,
Right.
it's like, oh yeah, I'm your child, and the whole thing is kind of interesting because Tiffany is happy to be a parent. Chucky's kind of like, ah, yeah, whatever. So
Hmm.
that was kind of, they played around with that quite a bit. um Real quick, Jason's coming in with a super chat. What's going on? It's a Coriander, the Defender of Phantasm. All right, there we
Thank
go.
you.
I don't even know what to say to that. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate it, man. We really do. Much love.
Yes, we
Uh,
do.
Dan, Dan saying, yes, a step down from Bride. Yeah. Yeah, I
Mhm.
could definitely, there was definitely some things
Yeah.
that didn't hit as well to me. Gina's in the chat. What's going on, Gina?
I
Good to see
still
you.
enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Eric saying, I do love John Waters in this though. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was cool. Sam saying, I just considered a comedy with a bit of horror in there. The franchise started serious, but the concept in voodoo was a bit goofy anyway, so it's definitely a guilty pleasure movie for me. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
definitely understand that. Definitely. Mayanne saying the watch party was a blast. Yeah, man, it was really fun to watch it all together. This was definitely that type of movie that's good to watch with friends and seeing what you guys
Yeah.
were saying about it while we're watching it. That was fun.
Yeah.
And we'll
Right.
be we'll be doing the same thing this Sunday at 8. We'll be watching our next movie, which we will announce in a little bit. But let's get to some of the kills too, Coriander. We start off with this kill right here,
Mhm.
where one of the
Yeah, this
technicians one of the technicians is trying to fix Tiffany, and he
yeah.
opens her back compartment up, and you see this like it's not a heart, but it's like pulsating flesh. It's really
Mhm.
gross, man. But Chucky comes in from behind, and they tag team this dude. What did you think of that kill? That was a pretty good one.
It was a good kill, and then when Jennifer Tilly comes in, right, looking for a candy
Yes,
bar, and she's like,
yes,
"Oh, gross," and she's kicking the head, and then she picks it up, and then she, like, kisses it a few times, right? Or maybe just once, I can't
yes,
remember. And then she
yes.
realizes, like, "Holy shit, this is real," and yeah, that was a great scene.
I agree.
I
That
thought
was a pretty good scene.
yeah, I think Jennifer Tilly in this role was I loved her in this role.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I gotta admit, I think that it was well, one, it was kind of smart for them to do this with
Mhm.
the franchise because now
Yeah.
you bring in Jennifer Tilly, and she can obviously help the plot move along because
Mhm.
she's a human, and also she's got good comedic timing for what she's doing in these movies and
Yeah.
so forth. So I think that was kind of smart, and obviously Tiffany being that you know um, secondary character to Chucky. I think that
Mhm.
really made these movies just different enough so
Yeah.
it still has a lot of fans. A lot of people love these
Yeah.
movies, man. They really really
Yeah.
do.
Like,
So
like a little like further along in the movie, like another favorite scene of mine, right, is when she's on the phone with her former assistant and Tiffany's on the other end and she's talking and then it was just such a funny
yeah,
scene and
well we'll
when we I
yeah,
know.
well we'll get
I
to
just
that,
I
but
just
that's near the end of the movie, man. Come on.
oh, that was a good one.
Well, yeah, it
Anyway,
was good because of the fact
yeah,
that, and I think Jennifer Tilly, you got to give her credit too, because she wasn't,
yeah,
she was able to poke fun at herself, man. Like she was
she
talking about
was.
her voice is an angelic voice and all this type of stuff. It was hilarious stuff, man. It was really, really
Yeah.
funny. Um, Chuck was saying was Britney Spears, and no, that was a lookalike. And they actually, I remember with the trailer, they actually put that in as a disclaimer and said this is not the real Britney Spears or something like that. It was pretty funny. But anyways, long story short, their game plan is to obviously inhabit the bodies of Jennifer Tilly and Redman, and then they're going to figure out, what to do with Glenda. So that was like the whole plot, of this film. So they
Well,
sneak up.
that's right. That's why they knocked up Jennifer there, so that she could have a
Yeah,
baby, so that Glenda or Glenn could go into that body.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to get to that because you got that scene where, Redman is over and she's basically just trying to get this role. And
Yeah.
it was kind of funny, but it was kind of like, you kind of feel bad. But Tiffany didn't want them to continue to be killers. She wanted to set an example for Glenda, which I
Yeah.
thought that was really funny because Chucky was like, well, I'm a killer. That's who I am. And
Mhm.
all of that stuff. But both of them kill unbeknownst to each other, which was kind of funny because once they reveal themselves to Jennifer Tilly, it was pretty much it was like game over because let me just say, man, she did more screaming in this movie than anyone, man. It was crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but you've got that scene where the um paparazzi guy, he was taking pictures and Chucky
Oh,
was like, well,
yeah.
we got to kill him. So that's the scene that
Yeah.
Chuck was referencing when they're driving and Chucky's at the wheel and Glenda's hitting the accelerator and
Yeah.
they run Britney Spears off the road, man. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Just
they
little
did.
things like but this
Yep.
kill with the paparazzi guy, what did you think of this one? Because Chucky was ready to go like all ninja style, and instead,
Yes.
Glenda scares the crap out of this guy, and he gets
Well,
the acid on him.
Glenn, right? Because he was Glenn at this point still.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying
Uh,
Glenda, man.
I know.
But you're right. It was Glenn.
But he's like, no, right? And
Yeah.
that guy like looks at him and he's like obviously surprised because it's a freaking doll and he
Yeah,
crashes
I
into
know.
the shelf with acid and
Yeah.
yeah. And Chucky's like, wow, he was so impressed. And
Yeah.
Glenn
You're the
was just like,
best.
he was so, yeah. And he's like, no, that's not what I wanted to happen. And he felt
Right.
bad for this poor doll because,
You kind of did.
he's got shit his whole existence. So,
Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
point. That's a
yeah.
good point, man. Uh Polar was saying I love the disclaimer that Brit was not in it. I know, me too, man. Sam making a good point, saying animatronics in the movie were definitely the best. It's definitely a product of the time, but it's always a blast. And Chucky's definitely changed with the times as well. I will
Yeah.
give them credit because when this came out, they were aware of how horror had really changed the landscape of horror, when they looked at whether it was Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers, whatever, and they realized, Don Mancini realized that these characters had become so popular that it wasn't really about them being scary anymore. It was really about them just kind of being entertaining, as far as the movies and making sure the
Yeah.
kills were good and stuff like that. So that was really the reason that they made these changes to the franchise. And I suppose when you really think about it, they had to kind of do something like this because how many times can you tell the same story that they told in the first like two movies where a kid finds Chucky has to, uh, you know, transfer his soul into the body of the kid, that would just get really, really old quick.
Right.
Whereas with the other horror icons, they have a lot more lane to drive in because they're killing people, they're stalking people, they can all that type of stuff. So it made sense. But the animatronics was really good in this movie. I will agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is really good. Like the facial expressions and all of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Poojan saying this movie had some decent kills. It really
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it really did. Jason saying John Waters' death was superb. Oh my God, I loved him in this film. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, I agree. And Val reminding people to, yeah, please make sure you hit the like button. It helps to support us, and we'd really, really appreciate it. Um, Chuck saying he really enjoyed Redman's death. That was a good one, man.
Yeah. That was probably one of the best ones.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because you've got the scene where they're at dinner and it's basically, you know, she she's realizing that hey, she needs to like respect herself. And Tiffany is like watching them. And
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany is just getting so pissed off at Redman. And then you've got that
Mm-hmm.
scene where I thought it was pretty cool. They did some really cool angles and camera work with the deaths and stuff like that. I mean, Don Mancini was talking about how he was really inspired by De Palma and Argento. You can even see a little
Nice.
bit of like Hitchcock as far as how they were shooting some of those scenes. Like in the beginning of the movie with the family, the father, when Glenn was having the nightmare and killed the father, and the father
Mm-hmm.
fell off of the stairs, and the camera followed him as he was going right down to the ground. That was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. But yeah, it was some cool stuff in here, man. But she realizes that she's pregnant because they did the voodoo magic and all that type of stuff. So she calls her assistant, and she's freaking
Oh
out.
my
Jennifer
god.
Jennifer Tilly was hilarious, man. And Chucky, but like I don't know, man. Some people may feel a certain way. You guys in the chat, let us know how you think about it. But at this point, Chucky, it's some funny stuff. Seeing the reaction of people seeing him or Tiffany alive, how they interact with the humans. It's a gag. It truly is a gag. Coriander, what do you think about it? I mean, do you think it's to the point where Chucky had become a joke in a bad way, or did it work for the franchise?
Like I said in the beginning, for me, it works because Brad Dourif kind of brought, even in the beginning, the first movie, he had some lines in there, he wasn't quite like this.
Yeah,
But for me, I think it works because, he's a doll. I mean, how serious
right.
can you take a doll?
Good point.
So I think that it just, yeah, it just suits him. And
Yeah,
he'd be boring to me if he was just, hey guys,
right,
hey, I'm here to
right.
kill. That would be
Yeah,
boring. So
yep,
yeah, man.
yep. I agree, man. Um, Life is in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. He's saying hi. Val, with the link for tomorrow night's verse stream, it's gonna be it's gonna be the rematch of all times. We're gonna have Phantasm 2 versus the Omen 2. And if you were with us last week, man, was it a fun stream. So
Yeah,
tomorrow night we're
it's
gonna
it's
gear up.
gonna be interesting tomorrow
It is.
night. It's gonna be, oh man, that's
It
all I have
is,
to
man.
say. So
Yeah. The
tune
question
in.
is, that's right. It'll be very, very cool at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will Phantasm get its revenge? Will it? Very, very cool question, but we'll find out. But definitely hit that link that Val put in the chat. Poojan saying, I instantly thought of that when I thought back to this movie, Redman's death. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a really good death. It was gruesome too, man. Yeah. Sam saying, I still need to watch the new Chucky series. Would you guys recommend it? As I've seen it, has a lot of the characters from the Seed storyline. Well,
I
you know
haven't
what?
seen it, so I
That's
can't
right.
answer that question.
And there's a chance we might be talking about it. We're gonna see. Like I actually had
Yeah,
that
maybe
question
that's
asked to me.
that's a series we should check out after what we're watching now.
Yeah, it might be something that we do.
Yeah.
Might be
Yeah.
something that we do. But anyways, so to get into the last bit of the movie, basically the idea is they want to transfer their souls. They've kidnapped the chauffeur as well. You've got that scene where the assistant
Yes,
comes
this
in.
chick too. Yeah.
Man, this was a wow,
This
what
is
a
a good
death,
one
man.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. She gets burned, falls down the
Yeah.
stairs. There's a lot of people falling downstairs in
Yeah.
this movie. It's like that was a thing in this movie. It was really, really
Well,
crazy.
Tiffany's house. I mean, well, I should say Jennifer.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was it was a nice house.
It was. It really, really was. But then we see Glenda, who's
Oh yeah.
totally gone down that road, got the wig on and
Yeah,
everything,
she
freaking
does.
crazy as hell.
It
And
even
that was
looks like
one.
her teeth are like pointier. I don't
It,
know if
it
you ever noticed
does.
that. Yeah.
It does. Looks pretty scary, man. But that was the thing, we realized that there was two souls. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There was or
She's a
two
split
sides.
personality. Yeah.
Right. The
She's
Glenn and the Glenda.
Glenda and Glenn.
Yep. So, we get to the point where we're basically going to find out what is Jennifer going to have for a baby. We realize that it's two babies. One is a boy, one is a girl. So you know where this is going to be going. And then the cops are coming. And then in the biggest twist of all time, is pretty much the biggest twist of the series up to this point, man. Chucky says, I don't want to transfer my soul into a human body. What's so great about being a human? He says, and I
Yeah.
love this line. He says, as a killer doll, I'm infamous. I'm one of the greatest slashers in the history of slashers. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, you are a horror icon. So it was really, really meta. But Brad
Yeah.
Dourif, he
It
delivered the
worked though.
line really,
Yep.
really well. But
Yeah.
Tiffany's like, well, that's not enough for me, Chucky. I'm gonna leave. And of course, he was like, nobody leaves me. And again, look at, I mean, seriously, like people were saying in the chat, the animatronics was really good. The expressions, I mean, they
And
did a
I
hell of a
like,
job.
yeah, I think this is like my favorite look of Chucky with all the scars and the
Hmm.
stitches and yeah, I love
Yeah,
the look. So yeah.
yeah, man. It was really really cool. Um, But then, of course, things don't go the way you think they're gonna go because he throws the knife, he kills the chauffeur, and then it's like,
Yes.
okay, they escape. So Jennifer is in the hospital, and this is where the final showdown takes place because you got Tiffany and you've got Glenn hiding in the room. And man, look, you knew you knew that Chucky was gonna come back. He always comes back, and he's pulling this shot from The Shining, and you were just waiting for him to say, "Here's Chucky," and he says, "I can't
I
think
don't
of
know
what to
what to
say."
say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was good, man. Like I
it
said,
was.
if you're into the comedy, you can enjoy it. If you don't enjoy the comedy, you're gonna think this is like ridiculous, you know. But I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Tiffany does use the amulet, and she's basically trying to switch with Jennifer, and it's like, okay, is it gonna happen? Is it not? Right? And of course, Chucky kills Tiffany, and you're like, oh man. And then there's the showdown with Glenn. Glenn kind of shows his true colors. It was a showdown with Glenn and Chucky, and he kills Chucky. And Chucky's like, "Atta boy, do it, make me proud," and all that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What?" You know. So once again, Chucky gets dismembered,
Chopped
and then
up.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it cuts to 5 years later, and you realize what, Coriander? What do you realize in the end?
Well, you know, Tiffany did go into Jennifer
Yeah,
and that Glenn and Glenda, well, Glenn went into the boy.
that's right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So there's the boy, and then Glenda went into the girl, and the girl supposedly the housekeeper was saying, "Oh, she scares me. She's
Yeah.
not right, and this and that." And that's when Jennifer kills the housekeeper, and then there's a present for Glenn, and he's like, "What is it?" And Jennifer's like, "I
Yeah.
don't know. Open it up." And you see that it's Chucky's hand, and all of a sudden, the hand comes up and chokes him, and then it's done. It's over. It's like, what? It's a pretty crazy movie, man. Um, but it
Yeah.
was it was fun. It was really really fun.
It was.
Nanette saying I think it works, and for me, I like it better when Chucky is funny. All right,
Yeah. Yeah.
Dan, a fan of Jennifer in this movie. I mean, I think she was a good addition to the franchise. She really really was.
Same. Yep. She
Gina saying
saved
when
it.
That's a good way to word it, man. I think you're right. I really
Yeah.
do because for you guys that are newer in the chat, like Sam and so forth, check out our previous streams. But when we talked about Child's Play 3, and I had said this even when I remembered watching it as a kid, I think Child's Play 3, it just didn't have that level of appeal that the first and the second movie had. So it was kind of on its way down. But Bride really reinvigorated, the franchise. So you're right. Jennifer Tilly did pretty much save, the Chucky series.
Yeah.
I really do think so. Um, Gina saying, when I saw Chucky, I threw all this away. I didn't like the Barbie to start with. Oh, I threw all dolls away. There you go. I got you. Sam saying this movie has a lot of quotable lines and the imagery is used a lot on Chucky merch. Still, it's ridiculous and goofy, but I love it. Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Well
Yep.
said. Poojan saying, I wonder would a Michael Myers and Chucky crossover work? It would not. It would not. And that's the
No.
thing, because I think
Well,
that.
think about it though. It's almost like Freddy and Jason,
Mhm,
and that if they did the movie right, worked, but it didn't. But the
yeah,
fact that Jason didn't talk, so it could
right.
work. It could work.
Well,
It would
they'll
be
have to be
interesting.
they'll have to be a stand-in for Chucky because there's no way he's defeating Michael Myers. This is absolutely crazy,
Hey,
man.
you never know.
Philip saying Jennifer Tilly is awesome. Agreed, man. She's been
Yeah.
really good in these movies. Poojan
Yeah.
saying I feel like Jennifer always brings her A game in the Child's Play franchise. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Same.
Chuck saying, "I love the ending because it's shocking as hell." Yeah, it was because you're
Great.
wondering where it's
Yeah.
gonna go, you know, and
Yeah.
it was a really really cool twist to the end. So enjoyable
Yeah.
stuff, man. But let's give our ranking as we always do. We have our badge system that we give to these movies that we talk about on Slasher Movie Club. So we have either a 4 badge, which means the movie is excellent. It's a must watch, a must buy. And then we have 3 badges, meaning that it's good. We've got 2 badges, meaning that it's a chance it, meaning that it's meh. You could take it or you could leave it. And of course, then we have the dreaded 1 badge, which means it's horrible, that it's dark territory, aka don't go in the woods alone, aka blood cult, aka good night, God bless, aka
We
student
get
bodies. You
it.
know the
Oh
rest.
my
You know the
God.
rest.
We get
So,
it.
Coriander,
Yeah.
what are you going to give Seed of Chucky for your score?
All right. So I'm going to give it 4. I'm going
Wow.
all the way.
Wow.
That's
All
right,
right.
baby.
Man. Wow, you surprised me on that. So you're going with a 4 badge. All right.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah. Yeah.
for you guys in the chat, let us know what your score is. Wow, I did not expect it. Now you gave Bride, so you enjoyed this more than Bride.
Uh, did I only give it a 3?
I can't remember. I
I
can't
thought I
remember.
gave it a 4.
You might have given it a 4. You're right. You're right. But do you enjoy this more than Bride, or is it about the
I like,
same?
I, you know, I like them both, but
Okay.
I think maybe this one might just be a little bit more enjoyable. And I think it's all because of, Glenn and Glenda,
Okay. All right.
because, yeah, I think
All
it
right.
was a good addition. So,
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it was good. I think for me, it was a little bit less. Well, I don't want to say a little bit, but it was less than Bride of Chucky for me. And the reason why is I think that although I did get some laughs out of it, and I truly, truly did, but I think Bride had a more balanced amount of the horror and the comedy than this one. This one really leaned into the comedy, which worked. It usually worked for me because I was laughing my ass off. So I don't have an issue with this. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good time. It wasn't
yeah.
bad at all. It was fun. And you got to also remember too, I hadn't seen this in I don't even know how long, but we watched it in the watch party, with our channel members and
Mhm.
stuff. So that was a lot of fun, and also seeing their
Yeah.
reactions as well. So all right. Well, let's see what you guys say. Chuck is going to give it 4,
Nice.
and Nanette is giving it 4 badges. All
Okay.
right. Dan's going to go with two badges for Dan. All right. Poojan said 4 badge. Interesting.
Nice.
All right. Let us know what you're going to give it. Gina going with 2. Mayan is going
Okay.
with 3. Let's
Nice.
see. Poojan saying, I'm going to be honest, it was very creative in some aspects, but I think I'm leaning towards 2. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Val saying, even though it was a super cheesy movie, I will give it 3 badges, made me laugh, and I would rewatch it again. Well said.
Right.
Well said.
Nice.
Sam's saying, I give it a 3. It's not bad, but it's not really good. But again, it's a guilty pleasure movie for most. All right.
Yeah. Nice.
Philip saying 3 badges. It's a fun time. I do think Bride of Chucky was better.
All
Okay.
right.
Poojan saying, I agree with all points. Yeah. All right. So that's what we've got for Seed of Chucky. Really, really interesting stuff. And again, we've been traveling down this road with the Chucky franchise, which was not originally a plan, but we've been having fun, and we still got a couple more in the franchise that we possibly will tackle soon. But in the meantime,
See,
next
I
week,
haven't seen past this movie, so
yeah. All
it'll be
right.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But for next week, we're gonna go off of the beaten path, and you know what we're gonna take, Coriander?
What?
We're gonna take a wrong turn.
All right.
Ah, do you see how I did that?
I did.
No, nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, all
Good
right.
one.
So that's what we're gonna be checking out next week. I believe it's from 2003. I haven't seen Wrong Turn in a while, so that'll be
Ah,
the
yeah.
next. What was that?
I'm just saying it's been a long time for me too.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be the next one. But of course, before we totally head on out, also another announcement we're going to give in a second. But we got to talk about how many kills we had in the Seed of Chucky. So as usual, let's do our little kill count moment. Here we go. 14 kills. 5 male, 4 female, 3 unknown, 2 dolls.
I'll be right back.
There
Nice.
you go. So it had
Very
a lot of
nice.
had a lot of kills, man. It really,
It
really
was,
did.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was fun.
yeah. Let's see. Val was saying I haven't seen that one in years. Talking about Wrong Turn. Philip,
Yeah.
a fan of Wrong Turn. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
remember, guys, Sunday at 8, we'll be doing the watch party.
Yeah, life saying wrong turn. I'm there. Yeah. So what we're going
Yeah.
to be doing. So let me explain this because I know we have some new folks in the chat. We will be doing a watch party of Wrong Turn this Sunday coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're a channel member or Patreon member, if you are not a channel member, just hit the join button next to the subscribe button. Become a channel member. It helps to support the channel, and you also get to do private and exclusive watch parties with us, hangouts. We have
In
extra
the chat.
content.
Yeah. And other
Yes.
people. Yeah.
Yes. And our community are there. So, Val, I don't know if you can put the link to the channel membership, but if you could in the chat, that'd be great. So, for you guys that are not channel members, definitely it helps to support the channel, allows us to do more streams and so forth.
Mhm.
And you'll be able to come to this watch party that we're going to do for Wrong Turn. I'll be, setting up the stream in a couple of days, and I'll be communicating with all of the channel members as far as giving them the link because it will not be on YouTube. It will not be, published to everyone. It'll just be exclusive to channel members. So definitely, if you're not a channel member, go to the front page, hit the join button next to the subscribe
Join
button, and you can
us.
join us. Yeah.
Yeah. Join us
Then
and come watch.
the next thing that we're going to also be doing, one of the big announcements that I had talked about too, is that what we're going to do for you guys that are part of our group when we're watching our slasher movie clubs, we are going to take requests from you guys for future episodes. Okay. And we are probably going to start that
Yeah.
either with our next episode after Wrong Turn or the following one. Okay. And what we're going
Yeah.
to do is we're going to take requests from you guys. We're going to put them
Yes.
on we're going to put them on the wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, and then that will be how we're going to choose our upcoming Slasher Movie Club episodes. Now, the only thing is, it can't be an episode that we've already done. And of
Yeah.
course, if it's something that we can't easily watch, then we can't do that as well. But in
Yeah.
general, we're looking to see what you guys come up with ideas for us to really, make this much more of a club atmosphere, a slasher movie club.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes. I'm excited for this. I'm curious as to what all you guys are going to pick.
I am.
And when
Yeah.
we spin that wheel, which one it's going
Yeah.
to be. I
Yep.
think yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. I think it'll be a lot of fun too because we get,
Yeah.
I have people that are always saying to me, well, why don't you do this movie? Why don't you do that movie? And we have a list that we try to go to. But it kind of dawned on me, that if we're watching these movies together with you guys and a lot of you guys that have some great suggestions, why don't we
Yeah.
use that as part of what could be fun as far as a
Plus
surprise
the
for
rat.
all of us?
Yeah. Plus we've pretty much finished the book. So I think
Well,
this is well, there's still some, but
yeah.
the majority of them, it's pretty
Yeah.
much done.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
think this is a great way to continue it. So yeah, it
Yeah.
gets you
Yeah.
guys more involved, definitely. So
That's right.
yeah,
And Sam's heading on out. Thanks for hanging out, Sam. We appreciate you being here. Hope to see you again.
yeah,
Dan saying awesome. I'll try to think of a good one. I'm pretty sure you can think of some good ones,
yes,
Dan. Yeah,
right,
pretty sure you can.
yes.
Um, yeah, and it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, and it'll be on
Mhm.
Sunday at 8 p.m., which is usually our time that we do a lot of our watch parties when we get together. So hopefully you guys can join us again. If you are a channel member or a member of our Patreon, Val's got the link to our Patreon. Also, if we could get the link to the channel membership, Val, that'd be great. If not, then you guys all you have to do is hit the join button next to the subscribe button, and then you can become a channel member. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited to check out Wrong Turn. And then, of course, getting some suggestions from you guys for our future episodes. And again, we'll put them on the wheel and spin
Yeah.
it and see where it lands. So it should be a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Seed of Chucky, a lot of fun. It was fun watching it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll see how Wrong Turn turns out. Anyways, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to support us and we'd appreciate it. And also leave us a comment. Let us know some of the things that you enjoy or have issue with Seed of Chucky and the franchise at this point in its history. So we will catch you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Up chicken meal.